Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Carolina Panthers and going over my top 5 challenges I think they will face in 2021. But before we get into that topic, just a quick question for those reviewing, especially the Panther fans out there. Comment down below where you think Christian McCaffrey ranks amongst running backs in the NFL. You think he's the best, second best, third best, fourth best, fifth best, whatever it is. Comment down below. And while you're at it, comment down below a video idea you want to see me talk about, and I'll see if I could get on it. But getting straight into it, challenge number 1 is going to go down to the most important position on the football field, and that's going to be the quarterback situation. Sam Darnold, can he live up to the hype? And I'm not saying the hype in, lead the Panthers to the Super Bowl, but can he live up to the hype in the sense of being a franchise quarterback? Can he be a guy the Panthers can invest their future in fully? Can he be the face of the franchise? He doesn't have to be the next Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, but like I said, just can he be like a Matt Ryan, a guy a franchise can trust and really believe their future in? To me, I think he could do it, but it's going to be a challenge being in a complete new system, having a lot of pressure on his shoulders, but he's got the weapons to do it. Now, his backfield's going from Frank Gore to Christian McCaffrey. His receiving core is going from Rashad Perryman to Familiar Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Terrace Marshall Jr. He's got the potential to do so, and I'm not acting like the Panthers are perfect. Their offensive line could use work, but still, he's got the final chance that he's been looking for that was never given to him in New York. I'm not a Panthers fan, but I am a huge Sam Darnold fan. I've always felt like he's never gotten the fair chance, and now that he has it, I'm rooting for him for the best to an extent. Obviously, I can't root for him against the Bucs, but I do wish him well. And if the Bucs are somehow not in it, I do like the Panthers to be as one of the few teams I would root for. But we'll just have to see. It is a challenge. I think he can overcome it, and I do think this Panthers team has a good future with Sam, but we just have to see it all come together. Number 2 on the list for the biggest challenge is going to be Matt Rule, a guy that's only second year in the NFL, still a little bit of unproven. What is he going to be? We're not sure. As much as I like Matt Rule and I like the company with him, Joe Brady, a great offensive coordinator, there's been speculations around the league about their offense. Teddy Bridgewater, former Panthers quarterback, I don't want to say just dissed Matt Rule, but definitely called him out and saying that we didn't practice 2-minute drills, we didn't practice red zone drills, and that is a concern. And then Matt Rule kind of fired back and defended themselves and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. We'll just have to see the debate and how it's going to be. If Matt Rule, even if he has a perfect system, it's still going to be a challenge having a new quarterback in this team. Christian McCaffrey come back from injury, not the best O-line. A defense that is stacked, yet is still really young and inexperienced. There's going to be challenges for a new head coach to lead a young and new team. It's going to be I don't want to say a super hard challenge that can't be overcome, but it won't be difficult. There's going to be some growing pains, and that's normal. A lot of teams around the league have some growing pains, and I expect this out of the Panthers. And I want to see growing pains because that means they're improving, and that is good. And Matt Rule, is getting the job done. But you guys tell me, is Matt Rule and Sam Darnold going to be kind of the duo, the two guys that really become the future of the Panthers franchise? You let me know. Comment down below, kind of a bonus question. Number 3 on the list is going to be just straight up experience. As I mentioned before, Matt Rule, not much experience. Sam Darnold, not much experience. Defense, not much experience. And while I mean these guys have been a few years in the league, when I mean experience, I mean there's no real playoff experience. If this team somehow ended up in the wild card round or in the playoffs through the wild card round, which I think they have a pretty good chance of doing. I don't expect them to win the division and take down the Bucs, but I can see the Panthers make the playoffs. None of them really have playoff experience. Matt Rule, it's only been in college. Sam Darnold's been with the Jets. Christian McCaffrey, never really been made a deep playoff run. Offensive line, receiving core, no playoff experience. Defense, not much of playoff experience. I mean, there's specs of guys that have, free agents that have been in and they've been to the playoffs before. But as a unit, as a whole, this Panthers team does not have playoff experience, don't have big game experience. I'm not saying, playoffs, first game, they're automatically going to lose. Anything's possible, but I'm just saying playoff experience is needed, and it is a factor that goes into the equation of how well you will do in the playoffs later in the postseason, later in December, later in January. It is going to be a variable the Panthers need to consider. While I don't expect them to make the Super Bowl this year, it would at least still be good to get some playoff experience this year and see if they could just get that under the belt so they have some big game reps with them. Number 4 on the list is going to be the offensive line. It's a concern all around. I'm hoping Morton and Brady Christensen, the 3rd round tackle, can really develop into a decent tackle duo for this team. But even outside of that, I just don't have a lot of promise in this Panthers offensive line. Now, is it as bad as the New York Jets offensive line that Sam Darnold had to deal with? I don't know. Even if it's on par, Sam Darnold's used to it, and the other weapons around him is going to make up for it. So I do think they could get the job done. But when we're looking at some of the worst offensive lines in the league, unfortunately, the Panthers are in that conversation, and it's going to be an issue. Sam Darnold, a guy that's already gotten beat up. He's already get sacked. He's takes a lot of hits. And while I'm not saying he's not used to it, you don't want to see it happen. I'm hoping Christian McCaffrey and, like I said, the other weapons can really take the pressure off him. I'm hoping Sam Darnold's mobility can really get them out of the sacks more than Teddy Bridgewater. Not to say Teddy Bridgewater is not mobile, but ever since the injury, he's definitely tried to stay in the pocket passing route. And that's fine. I'm just saying Sam Darnold, a big guy that can move and can take a hit, I do think will open up the passing game, can open up the run game, and can really reduce the sacks and take a little bit of pressure off the offensive line. Hopefully they'll feed off of each other. But either way, the blemishes are there. You can't completely overcome them. You can hide a couple flaws, but I do think there's going to be a lot of sacks for Sam Darnold this year. Again, I think they can overcome it a little bit and still even make a wild card round push. They'll be in the hunt this year. But as far as completely overcoming it, that's not going to happen. It's going to be a big challenge for this team week in and week out, in my opinion. Number 5 on this list, this might not be a huge challenge, but it's the division. Being with the Saints, being with the Bucs, being with the Falcons, you can argue that the Falcons, they don't worry about them. Their defense is awful. They got rid of Julio Jones, but still, Matt Ryan and Kyle Pitts, emerging Calvin Ridley, they're not a team you want to discredit. It's a division rival. They have a great special teams, new head coach, innovative head coach in Arthur Smith. It's not a team I want to discredit, especially being a division rival. I'm not saying the Panthers aren't better than them, but it's not like they're in the NFC East where they could just float by every single divisional game. This is a tough division. Bucs, we know who they are. You got to go. They're reigning Super Bowl champs. I'm not even going to talk about it. Saints, there's some wild card plays in there. You don't know what you're going to get out of Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston. That might be a benefit. That might be a disadvantage. I don't know. Both the Panthers and the Saints don't know what they got at their quarterback play this year, so it's really going to be a battle this year. Saints, unfortunately, do have a good roster, and the Panthers are going to try and have to outduel. They have a better O-line. Backfield, I won't say it's better, but Alvin Kamara is one of the best running backs in the league. That is right behind McCaffrey. Michael Thomas, we know how good of a receiver he is. Top 5 when healthy. Defense, I think the Panthers might have surpassed them on defense. It's debatable. I feel like the Saints have more star power at the top. Cameron Jordan, Demario Davis, Marshawn Lattimore. But when you get into the depth, that's where the Panthers win. I feel like they have deeper rosters and Denzel Perryman, Brian Burns, Hassan Reddick, Jeremy Chin, Jaycee Horn. They added AJ Boye. I just feel like they have a deeper core, at least in my opinion. It's really debatable, but either way, it's going to be tough. In the division, unfortunately, it's just, I don't want to say it's not winnable, it's impossible, but it'd be a heck of a challenge to try and win this division. But it's a very big enough of a challenge in itself to just try and make it out of this division in the wildcard round. But as always, you guys comment down below. Do you agree or disagree with my list? Just to go over it again. 5 biggest challenges you're going to face is Darnold, Matt Rule, not having big-time playoff experience, the O-line, and being in a tough division. Let me know, do you agree with the top 5 challenges they will face this year? And of course, referring back to the question today, where do you have McCaffrey ranked? I truly believe when he's healthy, he's the best back in the league, but we're just going to have to see how he rebounds. As always, and of course, guys, thank you for watching. 2-minute warning.